Eugene, a couple of weeks ago I was talking to you on the phone and I said, I better let you go. And you said, no, I've got plenty of time. I'm just waiting on them to push me into the operating theatre.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
how things, your life's so busy, you get operated on. The next week you're over in overseas with 4 fighters and they all come home winners.
Yeah. It was a hectic time. I just had appendicitis, so I got, and then they don't allow you to fly for 5 days, but luckily on the sixth day or something was my flight to Vegas, so I just made that cut off, and then went to Vegas, got Cam over the line, and then we went from Vegas to, and then also had the great news about the Balkan Bear. We managed to push him straight into the UFC without having to go through contenders, which is great. Mainly great because that saved me a trip going back to Vegas after China, because that's where I would be right now if it wasn't for that. So thank you, Mick, for that. Saved me a trip back to Vegas. Um, but in all seriousness, that's fantastic news for Brando. And then from Vegas, after hearing that good news and Cameron getting a good win, then I went to corner Aaron and Lawrence on Friday on the road to UFC semi-finals, and obviously those guys had some cracker fights, managed to get the wins, and then finished with Ronju, who had another tough opponent, but managed to get his fight over the line too. So it was just good. The boys did well. It was a successful outing. Yeah, they all won. I mean,
Cam had a change in opponent leading it into it, and what was so pleasing about his fight for you?
for a start, with the change of opponent makes it difficult because it was completely different stylistically. The opponents were completely different, but I tried to transpose, because we'd been working. I'd been holding Patrick Cam for so long. I tried to kind of figure out a way to transpose some of what we were doing for the other opponent to this guy, and I was able to tweak a few things and find some relevance with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff we had to just throw out the door that we were doing with the other guy, and I think a lot of what we did leading up to the fight, we worked on, and Cameron was able to directly transition what we were working on into the fight. So I think Contender's a very tough way to get in the UFC, and you've got to impress, and you've got to really take some risks that you wouldn't ordinarily take maybe, and I think Cameron calculated those risks well and got the finish, and I think he deserves to be in the UFC. He's the best middleweight in this region, and so now he's in the UFC.
Does that, the fact that you had to change the plans and mess around with the game plan, does that give you a great thrill that Cam has got that IQ that can pick that stuff up quickly?
Yeah, for sure, and that's why in many respects the game plan. You can't live and die on a game plan, you've got to find the sweet spot, and the sweet spot is where a game plan or a strategy meets instinct, and instinct is built over years and years and years of just doing the sport, and you've got to find a sweet spot where those two kind of meet in the middle. You can't be out there fighting 100% all on instinct and not having any idea or any semblance of a strategy or a game plan. And you can't be the other way around, where you're just so stringent and so strict, you're sticking to the game plan and the strategy, and you don't leave any room for instinct and creativity. You've got to find the sweet spot in the middle. And I think that's basically what Cameron was able to do. He was able to draw upon all the years and years and years of training he was doing, marry it up with a bit of a last minute kind of throwing together strategy that we came up with, and he found the sweet spot in the middle, and then he was able to make good. So yeah, really happy for him. It's a pretty arduous journey for him. You know what I mean? That's his third attempt, I think. What was that? You know, he first time he went over there, he had a bit of a medical issue. Then we got a shot, and he fought a very strange opponent that kind of like killed both their dreams. And then I think I think Mick saw there was potential there and saw that the opponent was a very kind of negative opponent to be facing in your UFC trial, so to speak. So I think Mick wanted to give him another shot, and I think Cameron impressed. So yeah, a bit of a journey to get to where he is, but that's what's going to make him a better fighter, because of that journey. Yeah. Classic. Ash from Engage. He's got me again.
Then, of course, Aaron was next up, and unbelievable fight against a real tough opponent, probably one of the toughest in that.
For sure.
That group, and a lot and faster than Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron, you must have been happy. That must have been a good game plan to see through.
Yeah, and like Aaron had to counteract some of that speed with just his willpower and determination. Yeah, that's one of Aaron's is. That's one of Aaron's biggest. This is one of Aaron's biggest weapons. It's just his willpower and his determination to succeed. And the other guy was game though. Like I would say, the last kid that Aaron fought in the contenders, Aaron he managed to break that kid down, but this kid didn't wilt. This kid didn't wilt under Aaron's pressure. He stayed there, whereas the last kid definitely broke. So, he was good. He was good, and it was a close fight. And I'll be honest, I thought we lost. Yeah, I thought we lost. I haven't watched the fight back yet, so I need to. Obviously, you need to watch the fight back before you can make a true statement on that. But at the time, I think I said to Aaron, I said, "Oh, I think we probably lost that, bro, but you might get lucky." Yeah.
I thought it was. I see one judge gave him all 3 rounds. I didn't do that. I gave the other boy the last round.
Okay.
Aaron up too. So
interesting, and that's why you can't be the judge. That's why I can never be the judge of my own fighter, and you can especially never be the judge when you're in the moment. There's too much going on.
Tell us a little bit about the cut, because they're talking about they don't have a date for the finals yet.
Yeah, I think it's all the way in January or February, so the cut's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, they said what I read was they're not sure if it was going to be this year or next year.
Yeah, no, I think it might be early next year, which will be a bit of a challenge, just trying to keep the guys enthusiastic.
Then Lawrence had a tough fight too. A guy that wasn't easy to break down or find a way through.
For sure, and that fight went exactly how we expected it to go. To be honest, like we knew that guy would be. We knew that old guy would be tough to track down, but we also knew that. We had a very clear game plan to cut the cage off and try to wear the guy down. And even I would have liked it. We planned for Lawrence to make a little more contact, to get into mid-range a lot more and get inside even more, into inside range even more than he did. I think he only got him once in the first round. But the pressure that Lawrence was putting on, and not just the pressure, like you've got to, when you fight someone explosive like that, it's got to be smart pressure, It's a game of inches. You got to take a half step back. You've got to understand when you're like kind of crossing the shoulders, and when you've got to have a very clear, distinct idea of what you're doing when you're cutting someone off like that. And that pressure that Lawrence put on is ultimately what led to, the finish. So even though we kind of, in a way, like we never planned to lose a round. We knew that was a really distinct possibility, but we knew that Lawrence had to use the first round as a springboard to give him the results that he needed in rounds 2 and 3. Just because that guy's crazy explosive and fast, and he was always going to move and try and get away from us like that. So yeah, and then Lawrence, obviously, when you want to close a gap on someone and you want to change level, especially, you have to be able to accompany that with a very specific set of shots that work in with that change of level, So, there's, without going into too much detail, there's a way to get your shots off where they start looking like a takedown or a change of level, and then it's about actually changing level and shooting, and actually pretending to change level and shooting, and coming over the top. That's a real skill that Lawrence had to work on for this camp, and it worked. It came off for him.
Is that something that is one of the best features of Lawrence's fight IQ?
Yeah. I mean, Lawrence, and Aaron and Cameron and Lawrence, even in Ronju, what you're seeing is the result of fight IQ, but the fight IQ just doesn't magically happen. That's the fight IQ gets built over years and years and years, and just grinding and grinding and grinding, and picking up things in the sport. It just happens because those guys have dedicated themselves to the sport, and they have funneled all this information into their brain, and they've come up with a specific kind of set of instincts and a specific set of skills, and that's how they've developed their fight IQ. It's a long-standing joke in this gym, and it's true, that everybody in this gym is stupid and dumb, except that one thing, and that's fighting, and that's all they have to be. I don't care if they don't know how to turn a microwave on, or write out a check, or pay an electric bill. The one thing that they have to excel in is fighting. And for the most part, that's what most of them do. Outside of that, you're going to see some absolute hopelessness, Tony.
Hey, move on to the big day, Ronju, and to me, just my humble opinion, that was a different fighter that we've seen before. Like, that was you could see him following a plan, and I was super impressed. And I never knew he was only 25 years old either.
Yeah. And his second run in the UFC, he's already gone in and then got released and then come back in. He's amazing talent. And then I think the assignment for us at CKB was pretty clear. It was just he's got all the talent, and he's got all the raw gifts, and he's got the ability, he's got explosiveness and all the physical gifts and everything. And then what we're trying to do is just just give him a little bit of a blueprint to follow and a little bit better understanding of what he's doing, so that he doesn't fall into the trap of what I said before, which is a big trap that a lot of the naturally gifted fighters have, and a lot of the Chinese fighters and a lot of the Asian fighters, is they're just all operating on instinct. They're all operating on instinct, and what they need is just a little bit more understanding about what they're doing, and how to build themselves into a round, and how to capitalize on stuff that you're doing earlier in the round, later in the round, or later in the fight. These sort of things, and that's all we're doing for Ronju. We're just giving him a little bit more of an idea, a little bit of the clue as to how we like to think about a fight in terms of a round or a strategy, and just building on things and setting things up, setting traps, setting up stuff for later on in the fight. And he's really taken that on board. I think that's why he's here, because he understands and he kind of appreciates that as his level goes up, and you fight the better caliber fighters, this is what they do. You know, they don't just fight on pure instinct. You know, they don't just do a camp of just hitting pads really, really hard and just coming and bringing and sparring hard and then coming that into the fight. There's more to it than that if you want to get to the upper echelons of the UFC. Yeah, but yeah, fantastic result for him. And he's just got to keep moving. He keep moving up the ranks and just keep fighting better and better opponent until he gets to his goal.
That busy weekend hasn't finished because you come straight from the plane to the gym.
Yeah, I'm going to go to sleep after this interview though, Tony, and I get some sleep. But yeah, I just show my face, let everybody know I'm back in town. Make sure you're turning up to training. And yeah, the boys are pumped. Obviously, when you get, when anyone goes to fight in the team and they have a bit of success, it just pumps up the boys, and they all want to share in the success. And yeah, so there's a lot of energy out there, which is cool.
Cheers, mate. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, no worries, Tony.
Cool. Yeah. How long without sleep?
Okay.
How long without sleep?
Oh,
Because
no,
you don't sleep on the plane.
Yeah. No, 24 hours, yeah. Yeah, fucking couldn't fall asleep. I really did try to fall asleep on this plane.
What about that Kiwi girl that come home off the